Astronomy. Put simply, the subject is about all things space. And by all things, I mean a books were full of stars, matter, scientists, planets, and, well, technically a lot of emptiness, but still a lot of amazing things.
But where did astronomy begin? At what point did we begin studying the world beyond our world?
Well, in this video, we will be going over the people, places, and milestones of astronomy.
So sit back and enjoy the history of astronomy.
To start this lesson, we'll need to go back in time, around 6,000 years works, in the ancient civilization of Mesopotamia.
Here, they would build pyramid-like structures known as ziggurats, where they would record celestial movements.
Speaking of pyramids, let's talk about Egypt real quick. The Egyptians started participating in astronomy around the same time as the Mesopotamians.
They used their knowledge in astronomy to predict floods and align their building with the cardinal points and the positions of the sun.
Other civilizations would create structures to predict events like the solar eclipse. Stonehenge, the most famous landmark in the UK, was created for this reason.
Civilizations that did similar things include the Chinese, who would record eclipses, meteor storms, and comets. And the Mayans, who aligned their buildings with astronomical events and even conducted special events like battles of specific celestial bodies in the sky.
The last civilization we'll cover is Babylonia. So around 500 BC, these people were able to discover the core basics of planetary orbit, which is a pretty big thing.
Moving forward in time, we find ourselves looking at ancient Greece. Here, we'll focus more on specific individuals who contributed to astronomy. There's a lot of people in this section too, so we can't go into specific details. Anyways, here we go. Thales was a merchant who was taught advanced mathematics. He is well known for predicting a solar eclipse when knowledge and records on the subject was minimal. A scholar and a teacher, Pythagoras proposed the concept that the Earth is a sphere and created advanced models of the solar system. Aristotle helped supply a lot of evidence to figure out the size of the Earth. Aristarchus applied geometry to astronomy. Herodotus used geometry to figure out the size of the Earth. Hipparchus did a handful of things. He discovered a star and the updated information pertaining to the distance of the sun and the moon to the Earth, the length of the year, and the motions of the sun and moon.
Finally, Ptolemy helped with a model of the Earth's motion.
And we're fast forwarding in time again. Here we'll be talking about a few specific individuals who contributed to astronomy during the 14th, 15th, and 16th century. Let's begin now. Nicolaus Copernicus was a Prussian astronomer who developed the first heliocentric model of the solar system. Heliocentric means that the sun is in the center of the model. Sweden-born Tycho Brahe was well known for his accurate astronomical observations and supported Copernicus's work. Galileo Galilei, commonly referred to as Galileo, was an Italian astronomer and probably the most well-known and important astronomer in this section. While usually credited with inventing the telescope, this is not true entirely. Early models of the telescope had been invented beforehand, called spyglasses. Galileo used his knowledge and technical skills to improve the spyglass and make a telescope. He used his telescope that he created to observe the moon, making him the first person to observe the moon through a telescope. He found that the moon was not smooth like previously believed, but very rugged and mountainous. He also discovered 4 Jupiter's moons, studied the phases of Venus, and sunspots on the sun. These are the most notable accomplishments of Galileo. Johannes Kepler was a German astronomer who created several laws about planetary motion. Isaac Newton, another well-known person on this section, was an English physician mostly known for his discovery and work on several laws of motion, called Newton's laws, and gravity. The last person we'll cover in this section is Edmund Halley, an English astronomer. He computed the orbit of Halley's Comet, a famous comet that appears every 75 to 76 years. This comet was named after him for his work. Time for one final fast forward. In this section, we'll cover the notable astronomers and physicists of the 20th century. You'll recognize a lot of names in this section. Wolfgang Pauli created the Pauli principle. This principle states that any 2 electrons in an atom can't have identical sets of quantum numbers. Werner Heisenberg, not to be confused with another Heisenberg, was a German physician known as the founder of quantum mechanics. Edwin Hubble was an American astronomer who had a big role in establishing the field of extragalactic astronomy. Because of his work, he had the Hubble telescope named after him.
George Lemaitre was a cosmologist and priest who proposed a very famous theory called the Big Bang Theory, which explains the creation of our universe.
Albert Oppenheimer was an American physicist who guided scientists to the creation of the first atom bomb.
Fred Hoyle was well known for his contribution to the theory of stellar nucleosynthesis. Albert Einstein is a very well-known physicist, most popular for his formula E equals mc squared. He also came up with several theories on relativity.
Niels Bohr was a Danish physicist who created revolutionary theories on anatomical structures and radiation emission. Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson were two astronomers who worked together to discover cosmic background radiation.
Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are two famous astronauts who were part of the crew on the Apollo mission. This mission had landed them on the moon, with Armstrong going on the surface. This makes it the first U.S. moon landing, and Neil being the first man on the moon.
Astronomy is a vast subject to cover, but a very interesting one at that. No, I'm sure you're already aware of that. Hopefully you're able to stand for the 5 minutes of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it.